What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here, and now most of you will know that complaining is not something I do a lot in videos, but the Spike Video Game Awards, or the VGX, what they call it now that was a show worth complaining about. Where do I start off here? Let me just say that I've been looking forward to the Spike VGX for pretty much the whole year, because they have always been noteworthy events where there will always be, some good announcements of new games, and the awards itself, nobody really cares about that. The show got quite a lot of criticism in the past, for being this show that isn't really centered too much around the games, but more like towards the celebrities that always get, brought to the event. And yeah, it's this, it used to be this big show at least, and like I said, wasn't really too much about the games or honoring the developers, making the games. And I kind of agreed with that. At the same time, like I said, there have always been some really noteworthy announcements. For example, let me just give you one example here of the Spike Video Game Awards of 2010, where they announced Uncharted 3, Mass Effect 3 and Skyrim. Three big games that would pretty much define 2011 and 2012. So, I was still looking forward to this event, especially because they said that they would be turning things around quite a lot. The show was going to be longer, not an hour, but 3 hours long, and it would be all about just the developers and, the games, and not really about this whole show element that it used to be about a lot. And at the same time, they promised bigger and more announcements than ever. So all in all, I was just really excited for it, but like I said, that all turned out to be a really big disappointment. Where do I start off here? I probably should start off saying that I was hoping for something more on Uncharted 4, and we didn't get that. Now, I'm not really too disappointed with that, but it does kind of make me feel, when are we actually going to see the next thing about Uncharted 4? All I can think of right now is that they will actually probably just keep it a secret until maybe E3, which will be in June. So it could be that we won't be hearing from that game until, a very long time from now. That also means, at least in my eyes, that it may actually not come out in 2014 but 2015. But who knows? They still could release something in the coming months or something. If so, if we get to see some stuff before E3, then I would still expect it to come out in 2014. But for now, with just what they've shown us, this little teaser that only has the Uncharted name, clearly said that they weren't ready yet to come up with a name, actually, a full name, and that it might actually, still be quite some time away from us. But we'll have to see about that. Now, the show itself, so, like I said, it wasn't really a big show, it was just very relaxed. They were in this big room where they had all these developers come out for some game announcements, but it was just a bit awkward at a lot of the times. So, for example, and I truly didn't get this, but they had two presenters. One was Jeff Keighley, who is very known from game trailers, of course, and the other one, I actually don't know what he's called, but yeah, he was this guy all the time just making jokes and stuff that were really not fitting in my eyes. And it was this, like I said, there was no audience there, and he sometimes made jokes, or he was presenting the awards, actually asked for applause when he knew that there was no audience. All in all, just making it very awkward, and I was just like, why are you even doing this? It just didn't make sense at all. The announcement itself and the awards itself, just really bland, really boring. For example, out of all the announcements that they made, there were two Telltale game announcements. One was that they were working on a Borderlands, Borderlands spin-off game, kind of like in the Telltale universe, of course, with the way they make their games, these really narrative-driven games. And they also had something about Game of Thrones. Now that makes me wonder, when are we actually going to see something about Breaking Bad rather than The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones? Because I think that Breaking Bad deserves its own game a lot more, but we'll probably, we probably won't see that because that show is over now. I just don't care a lot or too much about a Game of Thrones game, but whatever. Actually, the most important announcement for me was the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which is pretty much just a port coming to PS4 and Xbox One in January. Now, I just found it a bit stupid how, the guys from that studio, or one guy was it, and the voice actor from Lara Croft, how they were sitting there, and that guy was just talking about how this is the version that you need to own from Tomb Raider. But all in all, it's clear that it's a normal port, and yeah, sure, things will look a bit better, but it's not like this is gonna look, you know, incredible, you know, compared to the Tomb Raider that came out on PS3 and 360. It's just a normal port, and the guy is hyping it up way too much, I'm sure of that. But still, I haven't played that game, so I'm very excited about it actually, because I definitely still wanted to play it sometime, and it looks like, you know, January is a time where there won't be a lot of PS4 games. Right now, the next PS4 game that I probably want to get will be in March with Infamous Second Son. So, you know, Tomb Raider will probably be a game that I will be getting in January, so I'm actually pretty excited for that. But you know, in terms of announcements, that was actually it. The rest we saw was just new gameplay from existing games. And that was the thing. They promised more and bigger announcements than ever. When they had those 3 big announcements that I talked to you about in 2010, which were Mass Effect, Uncharted and Skyrim, you know, and they just didn't bring anything that was bigger or more. It just didn't make sense to me. At the same time, for example, they had, what was it? Actually the first gameplay footage from Quantum Break, which is this big Xbox game that actually is the sole reason that I would still consider getting an Xbox One right now, because Quantum Break definitely looks very interesting. So they said they were going to show its first gameplay, so I was very excited about that, definitely very interested in that. But all what it was 7 seconds or something of this guy walking behind cover, and I'm just like, is this really a gameplay reveal? It didn't make sense at all, and all in all, this Spike VGX just was very, very disappointing to me, and they just didn't bring what they promised to bring, and the show itself was very awkward. The awards were, as always, just, you know, yeah, I mean, very uninteresting. Who cares about these awards? I mean, GTA 5 won Game of the Year, that's fine. Naughty Dog won Studio of the Year. Doesn't make sense, because you would expect that the Studio of the Year would be the studio that made the Game of the Year, but you know, I don't really know how they come up with all these you know, these awards and who wins them, but like I said, what can I say more? It was just a very, very disappointing VGX this year. I'm hoping actually they will do something bigger and better next year, but who knows? Like I said, what can I say? It was just disappointing all in all. So let me know what you think about the Spike VGX. Did you watch the full 3 hours? Because for me, like, I was watching it with a few friends via Skype, and after 1.5 hours or something, I just turned on my PS4 and was playing some Resogun while listening to it in the background, because it just got way too boring. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the Spike VGX, and then I want to thank you a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.